This is what the stream was, okay? She comes out and she mentions not only the abuse she has like taken, and it's not like the abuse is just like a comment or like comments on videos or comments on posts. It's not that. It is from her husband. Nationers, this thing is not straight. I'm so upset. Wait, is it straight now? Oh my God. Okay, wait, I fixed it. I have fixed it. My goodness, Nationers, welcome back to another episode of The Realest Podcast, episode 49, banner right behind me. It's finally straightened out. It has been, like, not straight for, like, the past, like, 5 to 6 episodes, and I couldn't figure out, like, how to fix it without it coming off, so if that thing fell off, that would have been probably one of the greatest moments of all time on this channel, other than maybe, like, the plastic moment. Nationers, we are here for another episode. Again, I like the zoomed-in vibe. I don't know. I could kind of see myself on the camera up there. I got, like, a whole bunch of topics that I want to talk about. When I first came up with some of the topics, I was like, I don't know if I, like, have enough topics. Maybe this is going to be, like, a 15-minute episode. I don't know. We're going to get right into it. I feel like having, like, 20-minute episodes is kind of nice. I kind of keep them a little bit long, like 40 minutes, 35, but I feel like even if, like, pulling it back a little bit more, having some of the interviews be, like, an hour long, and some of, like, the normal stuff that kind of just happens throughout the podcast be a little bit more digestible for you guys, where you're not having to, like, sit through, like, 40 minutes of content. So we're just going to get right into it. I do want to thank you guys so much for viewing, watching, listening, and subscribing to this channel. It really means a lot. The audio listeners, you guys are freaking amazing. I literally cannot thank you guys enough. The YouTube has literally been blowing up, especially with some of the short form content that's been coming out. Also with just some of the episodes that have been coming out, like the Try Guys episode did really well on YouTube for the channel. And then also the Simon Hotel episode 48, both back-to-back episodes, freaking crushed it. So thank you guys on all fronts of listening and watching on YouTube. Nationers, we're going to get right into it. Amouranth. You guys have seen the title again. Amouranth. If you guys don't know who Amouranth is a streamer on Twitch. She primarily does, like, a little bit more sexually charged content, you know, like where it might be like a low-cut shirt, or it might be like, you know, rating something or giving, like, advice to men. It really caters to, like, men. Like, that's what it really caters to. And obviously, we're living kind of like a world where, like, the sexual nature of things is a little bit more sensationalized. Like, if you guys ever go to TikTok and, like, maybe just, like, scroll your guys' For You page, right? You'll see, like, a photo or a video, not a photo. You'll see a video on TikTok of just, like, it's just, like, a normal trend, right? It's just a normal trend. But then there is, like, I'm, like, questioning why this video has, like, 1 million likes, and then it, like, becomes super apparent. It becomes super apparent. Like, right before this, I watched this trend. It was, like, it's, like, one of these things where it's, like, the daughter and then, like, the mom, or, like, something that, like, student, teacher, like, a certain comparison. And so it was this daughter and her mom is definitely, like, the MILF type. Like, she's definitely the MILF type, and in this video, it's definitely suggested based on, like, the text on the screen, and, like, she has, like, her boobs, like, you just see the low cut. Like, it's kind of like that type of content, and I, like, saw it had, like, 1.2 million likes. I'm like, let me go to the comments. Like, am I going to see a single woman in this comments? Am I going to see a single lady in this comments? Not one. Not one. Not one. So, that's definitely the audience. It's definitely, like, a 99%, like, male audience, okay? And Amouranth makes content very, very much like that, whether it's like a hot tub stream, which I think kind of actually blew her up for the most part. But then as Twitch kind of made some updates to their categorization of, like, hey, you can't, like, say you're in a hot tub stream if you're not actually doing stuff in the hot tub. So I think that kind of eliminated a lot of the more popular streamers who were doing, like, almost like, I guess maybe the best way to describe it for anyone that doesn't know is kind of like cam girly type stuff. But like in a PG-13, well, it's not even PG-13, but in a way that's like allowed. Like, you didn't quite reach the nudity aspect, like the check mark of that, so you could still stream on Twitch and do it. Indie Fox is also like another streamer who does content like that. She's been banned for over a year, it seems like. And I mentioned that in a few episodes ago about like Twitch's policies and whatnot, like not being transparent. So Amouranth recently came out with a live stream, probably about a week ago. And it was a bombshell of a stream. Like, this was probably like the most unexpected stream I think anyone would have ever expected from not only her, but like anyone. So, like I said, Amouranth makes sexually suggested content on live streams. You know, it would be hot tub stuff, it would be rating male things or whatnot. So, she came out in this live stream revealing everything. Like, she was exposing like the US government. Like, that's what this stream was basically about, right? She was basically exposing the entire world. This is what the stream was, okay? She comes out and she mentions not only the abuse she has like taken, and it's not like the abuse is just like a comment or like comments on videos or comments on posts. It's not that. It is from her husband, which I think was like, oh my gosh. No actual way. This was like the government coming out saying like, yeah, we never actually landed on the moon. It was just a Hollywood set. Like, that's what this was like. It was probably the last thing on people's minds and probably like ruined so many people's minds that she had a husband. She was married. I don't know how old Amouranth is. I'm going to look it up right now. I didn't quite look into this. I think she's still on my copy pasted here. And she is. Okay. Amouranth is 28 years of age. Okay. She was born in 93. And yeah. So she has a husband. This was huge. This was like really, really huge. She was under, I think a lot of us were under this persona. Not even persona. It's not even a persona. Like, it's not like she's like trying to act a part of her live streams. Like, this is unwillingly like something that we just like knew. It was kind of just a byproduct. She was forced. This is the crazy part. She was forced to be single, even though she, is married. She's legally married, whether I'm assuming that's like a marriage certificate or a marriage license, which you need to get married, which I don't really know why I don't know why that's a thing. I don't really know. However, Amouranth is married. She has been forced, abused, manipulated into doing, she's a minion for Dr. Doofenshmirtz. That's what she is. And pardon like my jokes about this. Like, I'm trying to make it like somewhat relatable to like understand, because it's like, I know I have a little bit of a younger audience. I don't think that you guys are like not smart enough to understand like some of this stuff. Like, you guys have probably seen movies about like an abusive husband, boyfriend, an abusive partner. Like, you've probably seen that, but there is also like the younger audience that, it's like, okay, like, what does that really look like? And I don't want to be the one to like tell you what that looks like. So part of my jokes, I'm really just trying to make it rather lighthearted, even though for someone like her, it is not lighthearted. Like, to be abused and forced and manipulated to do what she's doing, mind you, whether she liked it or not, like, is just wrong. This is basically like what a lot of the Andrew Tate stuff had been kind of going on, and like why he's now banned on the internet. Like, when you say things that like are very not okay to say on the internet, but then to do that and then like be like, nah, that never happened. Like, that's this energy. And mind you, we don't know who her husband is. We do not know. I mean, we might know, but I don't know. And again, like, the abuse, like, to be forced into maybe something you didn't want to do, or like you just wanted to take a break, but now you got to stream like 16 hours a day. And that's literally all you do, because it's like, it's just a money machine. To this guy, it's just a money machine. And she is the person who you're making money from, right? Right? Like, mind you, like, there's different like workplace environments that are like, oh my goodness, like, I never really got a break, or like, like, I kind of wanted to speak up but couldn't, because if I did, I'd lose my job. Excuse me. And not to say that it's like this, but it's very much on the lines. It teeters along that gray zone of like, like, she was not doing this 100% willingly, okay? And that's what I really want to make apparent. Like, For Amouranth, for Caitlyn, that's her name, she was not doing this 100% willingly. Like I said, like, she could do this and, like, still enjoy it, like, but from what we've seen post-announcement, this is most definitely not what she wanted to do. So, Amouranth is a horse lover. She loves horses. She has horses. And if she wanted to do something that was something her husband didn't agree with or really want her to do, can you guess what her husband was thinking about doing? It does not matter to him that she has a horse, that she has a dog, that she has anything that she cherishes. He was just going to murder it. He was going to, like, end its life, take it away, because what she was potentially wanting to do wasn't what he wanted to do. Everything had to stem from him, and there was no partnership in this relationship, which I don't want to call it a relationship. Like, it is, but it's not. It just isn't. So it's kind of really interesting, because after she released an announcement, like, it's obviously very emotional. She came back, like, even, like, 2 days later and was, like, starting to, like, do, like, horse live streams. Like, she was just, like, taming, or not taming, because the horses are already tamed. It's not Minecraft. Like, you're feeding it hay. But she was, like, just playing around on her horses, like, just riding the horses around her little farm, and that's just what the live stream was, like, cleaning its hooves, or, like, putting on horseshoes, like, stuff like that. Like, that's basically what it was. And it was just, like, a lighthearted stream, nothing too serious. Like, that's just really what it was. And it's interesting, because there are a few different aspects to this. She has, like, a PR team, which I guess kind of makes sense for, I guess, what she does. Like, it might be a little controversial, you know, I understand, right? She had one of her, like, managers or PR reps had, like, put out a word after the announcement, and, like, it's basically like if the husband was like, no, she's fine, nothing going on here. That's basically kind of what it was, where the PR person was basically speaking for Amouranth, but, like, she basically just said, like, how she's feeling. It's like, no, like, let her, please, for the love of God, please let her just, like, say how she feels. Don't tell everyone how she feels. Like, you shouldn't be speaking for her in this case. So she kind of spoke back about that and was, like, a little upset. I don't know if that person's fired or whatnot. Like, honestly, after all this, I'd be like, goodbye. Like, sign this piece of paper, you're fired, okay? That's what this has kind of stemmed to. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people that have talked about it. Again, we don't know what the full details are. It seems like her husband is, like, getting some type of counseling. Like, I don't know if this was just, like, a repeat thing, right? Like, you know, like, when you do something for, like, the first time, like, habit-wise, like, when I first started, like, snapping my fingers, like, I couldn't stop snapping my fingers. Like, it's not, mind you, this isn't as bad, but, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Jeffrey Dahmer, like, film. Like, when he first killed somebody, it was the end of everything. Like, it didn't matter. Like, it was just a repeat cycle. It was like, you know, like when you ride a bike, right? And you slowly get the wheels turning, or like a train, you slowly get the wheels turning, and it just starts going, and it just goes faster and faster and faster. There's more and more and more of whatever that is. So I don't know if that was what it was. Like, I can't speak for him. I can't speak for her. Like, I'm basically here telling you what we know, and really just the value of, like, hey, Amouranth was somebody who we kind of, like, maybe was like, like, I just, like, don't like watching her content. Like, I don't know why she's always on my recommended, but, like, there's always something deeper beyond what we're going through. Like, even with the Britney Spears stuff, like, there's something deeper. Like, but we still know that. That's still public now. There's still something deeper beyond what we see, like what the cover of the book sees, right? And, like, even the new Jeanette McCurdy book, like, I've been reading it. There's always something deeper. There's always something beyond the screen, beyond the camera, beyond just hitting record. There's issues that we are dealing with, you know, deeper than what we see. Like, I'm dealing with my own issues. You guys are probably dealing with your own issues. Like, even no matter how severe or how serious they are, like, no matter how minor, severe, we're still dealing with something, right? You know? And for Amouranth, I think, like, for her, since she's in kind of like a very big positive light right now, like, I think a lot of people really, like, checked themselves and, like, thought, like, what their judgment was of her. Because it's like, yeah, she kind of makes the type of content, lewdish content, but it's like, that's not necessarily what she wants to do all the time, right? And yeah, I mean, it's not great to see that, like, she was, how would I say it? Forced to do this. Like, it's not great to see anything like that. But definitely a lot of people have been speaking up about it. I don't know if anyone's ever met her, like, of the content world. Like, I know she's done, like, collab streams with, like, other streamers in the same niche, but I don't know if there's, like, any other person who's, like, met her in person. I don't even know where she's from. Like, I really don't. I really don't. So yeah, it's really interesting. And it was kind of, I think, like, one of the big things when she kind of, came back after the announcement, like, you could tell that she kind of covered up. Like, you could tell her personality was a little different. So it's very, very interesting. And I don't know if this is, like, a side of her that she's going to want to, get rid of, you know, like, it for some people don't really like basking or wanting to see, like, something that was so harmful to them, or, you know, so traumatic for them. Some people don't mind it. Like, I don't mind it. Like, it's just kind of part of who I am, you know? It's kind of hard to admit or hard to, like, face the truth, but it also at the same time is, like, that's who I was, that this happened to me, that happened to me. Like, it's just part of who I am, you know? So it'll be interesting to see what it's like in the next few months, especially after legal action's taken care of. We might discover more about what's going on. So it's very, very, very fresh, very new. It's kind of like a hot pizza right now, and it's slowly getting colder and colder, but you could still reheat it up, and we'll check back to see. It's kind of what it is. In addition to that, I do want to mention some things that I'm just really, like, on about. You know, I wanted to talk about Kanye, but I don't feel like there's enough substance. Like, there's not really much value in it. It's just kind of like ever since I said Kanye was the greatest artist of all time, artist meaning, like, rapper, producer, just music maker, he's been on a downward spiral. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Like, the takes that are coming out, like, it's very controversial. It's very polarizing. You know, 2 years later, it's a lot. It's just really a lot. So I just wanted to at least talk about that because you guys may know some stuff that's going down with it. If you don't, it's okay. I'd probably look into it. Maybe read an article or two. Like, I feel like that's the best thing to do because there's, like, multiple things going on, multiple people leaving partnerships with him. And yeah, it's a little hard to watch, you know? Also, Taylor Swift came out with a new album. Like, literally as recording this, she came out with a new album, like, basically 48 hours ago. And it's called Midnight. She hasn't actually released an album since 2017. And with this new release, I have not listened to it yet, but I hope to soon. And maybe give you, like, a few thoughts and considerations on it. Because Taylor Swift has, quite frankly, been one of the biggest artists of the decade. She's basically, like, there's two big artists of, like, all time. There's Drake and there's Taylor Swift, okay? Like, Taylor Swift is, like, I don't know. She just makes, like, some banging music. I don't know. Like, I really like a handful of the songs. Some songs I don't like. Some songs I do. But, man, like, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan. Like, I don't know her entire discography, which is just her catalog of music. But I want to listen to this album. I really do. I like listening to, like, new tunes, new songs. And, yeah, especially saying, like, Taylor Swift has had, like, some battles with some streaming platforms, like, such as Spotify and whatnot. I think this one got released on Amazon Music, Apple Music. I think she's a partnership with Apple Music, but she had a video with Prime Video. So I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, Taylor Swift, man. Like, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see her come back, you know, especially after some, like, music things that have kind of happened. Actually, I don't know if you guys know this. Taylor Swift, in recent, like, within the past few years, it kind of recently got resolved because she started coming out with new releases that were just remasters almost of, like, older songs, like her way, her writing. And it seemed like under the label that she was under, she was kind of, like, forced to, like, not have everything 100% herself. So she kind of fought back for ownership now. And I don't know who she's signed under. I don't know. It might be like Columbia Records. It's a rather big, I could probably look it up here. Taylor Swift label. I imagine I might actually find the drama here. She's been under a handful of labels, it seems like. It seems like she is under, who's she signed to? Republic Big Machine? Is that who she's under? That sounds like an awful name. Republic Big Machine. What the frick is that? Hold on. I'm finding out so many new stuff. It's kind of like a country and pop artist. Okay. Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know how big it is. It's only founded in 2005. So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're... I really have no idea about this. I really, really have no idea about this. Wait, Braun. Wait, who's... Oh, Scooter Braun. Acquired Big Machine and Swift's back catalog masters recording as a part of an estimated $300 million deal. Oh, she had a falling out with that. And Scooter Braun, who I think is also like her manager or someone of her team. I know he works for a lot of people like Justin Bieber and whatnot. Yeah, maybe the Big Machine had been kind of not gatekeeping, but like holding on to what it was. Okay, it is Republic Records and Universal. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Regardless, Nationers, I do want to, again, talk about like a little bit of stuff going on. TikTok recently has announced something that I mentioned that YouTube had announced. So YouTube had announced a monetization program for short-form content. TikTok has now done the same thing. Though the thresholds are, they're not super bad, like 100,000 followers, which, mind you, that's not super hard to get on TikTok. If you do like a little bit more, if you go a little bit out of like maybe the realm that you would like I have about 20K on this podcast TikTok and then about 24K on my main TikTok. So it's doable. Like I'm a quarter of the way there, but they introduced, in beta right now, TikTok Pulse, which it will be their short form monetization where you will get a revenue split of some of the ads that you get. Or some of the ads on TikTok, instead of just like a slice of the pie where it's this giant circle and there are millions of creators getting money from it. So yeah, like the TikTok one actually has done quite well for me, monetization wise, just from the creator fund. The main channel has also done decently well. The podcast actually just passed up the main channel one in revenue. So it's very interesting to see that they're finally adding something that is the monetization of short-form content because it's still very new. They actually released it or announced it in May of 2022, earlier this year. But with YouTube making the moves, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to see like kind of like what it looks like because I think TikTok's planning on introducing it sooner than YouTube. So, I mean, YouTube did put TikTok and checkmate, and they surely got out of that checkmate. So very, very excited for that. Also, I recently just played a game called The Quarry, and mind you, The Quarry is a really fantastic game. I really love The Quarry. I had actually seen my sister watch Jen McAllister, Jen on YouTube, or play the game, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually a really good game. Looked into it, seemed like it had been in the process of making for like 2 to 3 years, if not like 5, if I'm not wrong. And it's actually like a really, really good game. 2K, like the basketball game, actually, or the basketball developers made this game, and it was actually a really good storyline. It's kind of like one of those ones where there is a general linear storyline, but then a part of that, you kind of branch off within these decisions. You kind of branch off within these little storylines that happen for each person. You kind of get to make your decisions, and those influence the entire overall game. And it's actually really interesting. Like, it was actually a really, really good game. And if you guys actually want to come stream or watch some of the streams, I'll leave my second channel down in the description where I'm actually live streaming a lot of the horror games, some of the games that I'm playing every single day, except Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, yeah, feel free to come check it out. I'm also I've been loving Trackmania. So, Trackmania is a game that I played growing up, and oh my god, it is so much fun to play again. It is so much fun. Mind you, I have to spend like $10 for like a year pass, but I'm like, $10 for a year? It's pretty good. That's pretty good money. And the one thing that I really like about Trackmania, it is a creator-made game. It is a player-developed game. You can make tracks. There's like a custom track mode where you can create your own track. A lot of the tracks that you generally play are created by players of the game. And that's what I love, because it's like, I don't mind spending a subscription service for like content and for races and maps that are super cool and like well developed, and people know bugs and people know glitches, and like it's super cool because like the community is awesome. People are super supportive. And right now, Nationers, I'm gonna let you guys know I am top 60,000 in the United States, and I'm top 400,000 in the world, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm happy for myself that I am in like the top echelon. I'm also like, I think like top 2,000 in Washington. So there's that. Very excited about that. I'm going to let you guys know. I feel like this is something that I want to share with you guys more and more and like see if I'm getting better overall. So yeah, maybe we try and make like a run for like the top like 1,000 in Washington. I think that'd be super cool. But speaking of like 2K and some of the games that I'm playing, the basketball, the NBA is back. I'm super duper excited. I was recently just watching the Mavs and Memphis play, and my goodness, the Mavs were looking hot in the first quarter, and then I started the stream, or not streaming. This is not a stream. I started the, what is it? I started the podcast, so yeah, I got to go check out what happened before halftime hits, but honestly, Nation, I'm really happy with how this episode came out. I'm really happy. This is a little bit short. I'm looking at the clock. It seems like it's only about like 25-ish minutes, 26 minutes. But Nationers, I cannot thank you guys enough for the support on this podcast. It has meant the world to me since I started back in June of 2021. Recreating this room, getting a whole bunch of decor, the pictures, the guests. It truly means the world to me, just knowing that I have your guys' support on this podcast. And I hope that as we are able to get out more episodes, I'm reaching out to bigger guests, reaching out to people who I may know. You guys might see a little bit more guests where we're doing like a Zoom call and whatnot, but I'm really, really happy with how this podcast has turned out. I know it's taken a little bit over a year, but I'm really, really happy with just how everything comes to fruition. And with that, Nationers, we are going to have a big 50th episode of The Realest Podcast. I'm going to go all out on it. I hope that you guys are excited for it. I might have a few people just like pop in. I feel like that'd be cool. I feel like it'd be cool to have Caitlin on the podcast for the 50th. So, Nationers, thank you guys so much for watching episode 49 of The Realest Podcast. Banner right behind me. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. 07. Peace, peace.